Hey everyone, this is Michelle with Foxy Chick Designs and Magnolia Design Company for another Saturday morning chalking and jammies. Not sure how everybody's doing today. I know there's been a lot of craziness that has happened this week with this crazy virus, and I don't know who's all affected by that. But if you are, just sending prayers to you, hoping you feel better, or if it's affecting your job, that you will be taken care of. Anyway, I just wanted to hop on here for our Saturday morning chalking, and this morning I decided to use our Together is Our Favorite Place to Be with the little bike, and 3 of our chalk paste, the daffodil, the blue ice, and the white. So we'll see how that comes out. Before we get started, if this is the first time that you are catching me live and you've never heard of Magnolia Design Company, or you have but you're just not working with a designer, if you will put a number 1 in the comments. If you've joined us before and you've been a part of Foxy Chick Designs, or you've heard of Magnolia Design Company, if you would put a number 2 in the comments. If you are catching this live, if you will comment #live. If you're catching the replay, if you would comment #replay. If you are, since you're catching me on Facebook, there is a little SHARE button. If you would click that and pass this video along to your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. If you're not a part of my fan page, if you will head over to Foxy Chick Designs, where I think most of you are watching from, but if you've not liked our page, if you would give us a thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, without further ado, I'm going to move some of this other stuff that I have off my desk out of the way, and I'm going to change my camera view so that we can get started. And if you're popping on, if you'll say hello so I can see who's popping on. All right, so we are going to go this way here, and then we are going to go like that. Okay, so the stencil that we're going to use is our Together is Our Favorite Place to Be, and it comes with a cute little bike. This frame is another one of the frames that my husband created and did for me, which I am very thankful for his ideas and expertise. I was very, very excited for that. He did a wonderful job. The other one that he did, I used last week when we did our I'll Always Love You. So that's the frame without the stain, and this is the frame with the stain. And you can pick really any stain that you would want to stain them with, but they stain really nice. They're not hard to work with at all, so that makes it very nice. So here is our stencil that Together is Our Favorite Place to Be with our little bike, and I think, yep, it'll totally fit. I don't think I'm going to use the hearts though. I think I'm going to set those aside for another use. Because I've used this stencil before, it is marked on the back of what it is, so that, because they are reusable, they're adhesive stencils. And of course my nails are going to play a game on me to where I can't pick anything up. Oh, I did not mark the back of the bike, so I am going to pull out my handy dandy Sharpie and write bike on the back of it, because like I said, these are reusable. They are self-adhesive silkscreen stencils that can be used over and over again. They're easy to clean up, and all you have to do is, once they're dry, then you just put them on their backer sheet and you store them, and you can use them multiple times. I'm going to start with the bike, and our bike is going to be done in white. I'm going to do our white bike. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the stencil off of the backer sheet, just like so. And you can see that it is sticky. And I'm going to set that to the side. I have used this stencil, but this stencil is pretty sticky, so I am going to lay it on my shirt and get some lint on it, because I don't want it to be so sticky that it won't pull off the chalkboard, or that I have to pull it really hard and it stretches it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to lay this down like so. Let me see, how do I want to do that? Yeah, I'm going to lay that down just like so, and I'm going to make sure that all of our air bubbles are out of the silkscreen area, because if it has bubbles it will bleed and we don't want that. Okay, that is all down. So I'm just going to open up my white chalk paste, and I'm going to grab a stir stick and I'm going to give this a good stir. And I need to start scraping off my edges because they get very hard and crunchy up there. And this is all chalk paste that can be used. So you do want to make sure that you keep your edges cleaned off. Okay, so I'm going to just do that, and I'm going to set my stir stick aside. I'm going to grab one of our small squeegees, and I'm going to just cover all of the silk screened areas. And a little bit of chalk paste will go a long way, so you do not need a whole lot. And I'm just making sure all of our silk screened areas are covered. And then I'm just going back over and squeegeeing up the rest and putting it back into the jar, because it can be reused on another project. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a corner here, and I'm going to work my way down to about the middle, and then I'm just going to pull straight up. And there's our bike. Oh, let me see here. I can't see comments. If there are any comments, I'm not seeing them. Okay. So there's our bike. And because I'm going to be laying the Together Is Our Favorite Place right here, I'm going to take my heat tool and I'm going to go ahead and go over the bike just to make sure that it's dry, because I don't want any of that bike to pull up. All right, and that is all dry, but I'm going to wait until this comes back down to room temperature, because I don't want to pull any of the bike stencil up. I want to make sure that it stays, so I'm just waiting for this to come back down to room temperature. But as you can see, I can touch it and it's not going anywhere, so it is completely dry. All right, and I think that's back down to room temperature. So I'm going to move my board down just a little bit. And because I am layering this, I am going to fuzz this together is our favorite place to be quite a bit, because I want to take a lot of the stick off of it so that it's barely sticking, because some of it is going to overlap with the bike. So then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to line this up with the top. Let me see. I think it actually is going to go over. Oh, I think it is going to overlap just a little bit. Yep, it is. Okay. Which is fine. It's really no biggie, no big deal. But I do want to be very careful, because I do not want it to pull up those handlebars. So I'm being very careful when I rub out the air bubbles, because it is going to overlap just on the seat and the handlebars. Now up here I can push a little bit harder, but where it's overlapping I want to be very, very careful. Okay, so for the top, what I'm going to do is I am going to use the yellow daffodil and the blue ice, and I'm not sure if I want to do the hot mess or if I just want to do every other word. I think together and favorite I'm going to do in the blue ice, and the is our place to be I'm going to do in daffodil. So I'm going to start with our blue ice, and I'm just going to get that open, and I'm going to take a stir stick and give it a good stir. Just giving that a really good stir, getting it all mixed up, getting the pigment all stirred up. And as you can see, they stir up pretty easy. Alright, so I'm going to just scrape off my edges. Okay, I'm going to lay my stir stick aside. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do that there. And I'm going to take another squeegee, a clean squeegee, and I'm just going to go over the words together. And favorite. And I'm just making sure that all of these silk screened areas are filled in, and being very careful not to hit any of the other words that I don't want in this blue ice. Okay, and then I'm just squeegeeing up the excess and putting it back in my jar. And I'm going to set that squeegee aside. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the chalk and peel, because I've already chalked that and I want to make sure that it does not dry on my transfer or my stencil. I'm going to pull it back just a little bit. And I'm going to let that dry. I can zap it with my heat tool, being very careful not to let the heat touch my stencil, because if it touches my stencil, it will ruin it. And I have done that. I have ruined stencils because I let my heat tool get a little too close, because it will melt them. Okay, now that that's dry, I'm just going to lay this gently back over, and I'm just going to rub down the spots that I need to chalk yet. And I'm going to open up my daffodil, and it's all ready to be used, so I'm just going to grab a squeegee and I'm going to dip it in. And then I'm going to just work on our Other words, the is, our, and place to be. Being very careful. And making sure all of our silk screen areas are filled in. And just squeegeeing off the excess. And once I have it all squeegeed off, then I'm going to go back and grab that corner, and I'm just going to pull gently straight up. And there you go. Together is our favorite place to be. And I'll set my stencils aside, and then I will go ahead and clean them with just some cool water. And what I'm going to do is close up my chalk paste so that they do not dry out. And before I put the lids back on them, I like to just spray a couple squirts of water in before I seal them up, because then that leaves some moisture in them that can work itself in. And then when I open them up the next time, all I have to do is give them a real good stir, and it keeps them from drying out. And also, the more that you use a color, or the more that you use a specific paste, the better, because it doesn't have time to dry out. But the white is naturally a little bit more drier, so I'm going to just spray a couple spritzes of water in there, and then just put the lid back on, and I set them aside for another use. But it's very easy cleanup. It's very easy prep time. There's not a lot of prep time. And the nice thing about it is, you know, you've seen how quickly I was able to create this project. And I did see right here, it started to peel up. And it caught some of the stencil. So what I will do is I can always go back in. I want to make sure that all of this is dry. So I'm going to go ahead and go back in with my heat tool and make sure all of this is dry. You can do it one of two ways. You can either clean your stencil and go back in and line it up and just cover over those areas, or you can just grab your stencil like I have in my hand right now once I get this all dry. And I'm going to wait for that to cool down just a little bit. And you can go back in and lay your stencil down, and it'll line right back up. And you can see right where you need to chalk. So I'll just open my white chalk paste again. And I will need to give it a stir just because of the fact that I did put water in there before I closed it up. But I'll just go in, give my chalk paste a good stir to mix up the water that I sprayed in when I closed it. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my my stir stick, and I'm just going to go in and just use it just like so. And I can go in and touch up a few little areas that I can see where the paste pulled. And I can do that just with my stir stick. And then what I will do is I'll go back in and I will pull this back up very, very gently. I have a little spot that pulled up. I want to make sure that I get want to put too much paste down, but I do want to make sure that that's covered. And voila. And actually, it pulled up some of the bee. So, but that's okay. That is okay. And I'm going to wipe all of this off. And actually, I am not liking how that turned out. So what I will do, and I don't have my, you know what, actually, I do. I have my microfiber towels. So, what I'm going to do, and what I'm going to do is I got some microfiber towels, and I'm going to take one, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to fix your if you make a mistake. Like, I've got some mistakes on here, and I don't like the way they look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just spray some water. I'll let it sit for a minute. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to wipe it completely clean. Because as you can see how it's peeling up there just from the water. Okay. So now I'm going to just take my cloth and I'm going to go in and I'm going to wipe all of this off. Just like so. So if you do make a mistake or you don't like how a stencil comes out, that's all you do, is you wipe it completely clean. And you're going to get an actual lesson here on how to clean your stencils. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clean them. I'm going to lay this down. And actually, I'm going to lay my stencil down. And actually, I've got another big one here, which I'm going to lay down so I can use that to dry it. I'm going to lay down this particular one, and I'm going to spray it with water. And I'm going to grab as soon as I find it. I was not expecting to have to erase a board, so I do not have my board eraser. Hold on one second. I will be right back. I'm going to grab my board eraser so I can clean off these stencils. And this is our handy dandy board eraser right here. And what I'm going to do is I've just sprayed some water on it, and I'm going to rub over the board eraser with the board eraser, getting all of the ink off, or the paste off. Then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to spray it with water. I know, I hate that sound. I'm so sorry. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my other microfiber towel out, and I'm going to lay this just down like so, and I'm going to press on that out, and then peel it off. And voila, it is all clean and ready to go. I'm going to set it aside while I clean my other stencil here so that we can redo this project. So I'm just going to lay that down and just spraying some water. This is how easy our stencils are to clean up. And normally I would just take it to my sink and clean it off, but this works just as well. And I'm going to go ahead and I wipe off all the paste with our board eraser. Then I'm going to flip this over and do the exact same thing. Spray some water. And now that it's all clean, I will pull in my microfiber towel again. And I will lay this down. And I'll just fold this over and push and dry off the stencil. And pull it off. And it's all dry and ready to go again. So I'm going to stick it over here on the side. And I'm going to move my dry and cleaning towels. And we're going to try this again. But that's how easy the cleanup is. It makes it very, very simple. And actually what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to use the Together Is Our Favorite Place to Be. I'm going to put this one on first, because it is a bigger stencil. So I'm just making sure that all of our air bubbles are out. And I'm going to reopen all of our chalk paste. And I am going to have to give them a good stir because I put the water in them to seal them up. So I'm just giving it a good stir. I'm going to open our daffodil back up. And give our daffodil a really good stir. Okay. And I'm going to start working. Oh, let me see here. I've kind of contaminated all of my squeegees. So I'm going to have to get some clean ones out. So there's one. Let me grab out a couple more here. Do I have any? Oh, yep, I sure do. I do have 3 more squeegees quick. Because our squeegees come looking like this here. And I just cut them in half because I like to work with a little bit smaller of a squeegee. All right, let's try this again, shall we? Okay, so I am going to do, I'm going to just work real quickly instead of doing the chalk and peel. So I'm going to do the Together. I'm going to set that squeegee aside, and I'm going to grab my yellow squeegee and do our is and R. And then I'll set that squeegee aside as well. And I'll grab my blue ice again and work just very quickly. If you work quickly, you don't have to do a chalk and peel, but the bigger the stencil, if you're doing multiple colors, you are going to want to do the chalk and peel, just because you don't want your stencil or the chalk to dry on your stencil. And then I'm just grabbing my yellow again and making sure that's all covered. All right, now that those are done, I'm going to set those squeegees aside, and I'm just going to go in and pull from the middle, and I'm going to pull straight up. And there's our, together is our favorite place to be. I'm going to set that stencil aside to go ahead and clean it. I got some paste on it, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dry this really well. Okay, now that we have this dry, I am going to let this come back to room temperature while I decide on my, and I think I'm not going to have the two overlap this time. I think I'm going to try and not have that happen. Okay, so now we're going to pull our white back in. Move some of these guys out of the way, and I can pull our white in. I really like this color combination though. It is very, very pretty. Okay, this is back to being room temperature. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to line this up just underneath. Because I think, let me see here. Nope. It's gonna have to overlap just a little bit. I just want to be very, very careful here. You know what? Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little bit of the bottom of this stencil. And that's something you can do. You can cut your stencils. As long as you're not cutting anywhere the silk screen is, you can cut, you know, some of your stencil, the green part of your stencil apart. So I just cut a small strip of the green stencil off, just so that I can line my bike up a little bit better. There we go. And actually, the only part that's really going to overlap are the handlebars. And that is okay. That is going to be just okay. So I am going to be very careful when I put those down though, because I do not want, I don't want those letters to pull up. So I'm just getting a little bit of white paste and working in all of those silk screened areas. I'm going to be very careful as I paste over those handlebars, because I don't want those letters to pull up. And when I peel it up, I'm going to be very careful again so that I don't peel up anything. Okay, so now I'm just going over gently and pulling up any of the extra chalk paste. And then from this side here, I'm actually going to do it from this side so I can try to get that off before anything else. So I'm just gently pulling, very, very, very gently. Well, should not have pushed that down. And as you can see, it did pull up my place to be. I'm not quite sure what the problem is there. I really am not sure. I have never had it pull up like that. And it might be the surface. It very well could be the surface. So, I think I am going to try this again. And if this does not work, then I am not quite sure what to do. I'm just going to place, where is my lettering? There we go. Being very careful, and I'm just barely putting that down because that's the only place that I need it. I don't need it anywhere else. I don't need it to stick anywhere else. I just need it to be right there. And I'm going to grab just a tiny, tiny little bit of the yellow. And chalk over the T as well. And then I'm going to very gently, very, very gently pull this up. Aha! Voila. Voila. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get this dry. All right, so there is our project for today. Together is our favorite place to be, and you got to see it twice. And for that, I am sorry. I wasn't quite sure why it pulled up, but we got it fixed and we got it to work out perfectly. So let me pull you back up to me so we can chit chat. Okay. So, if you like what you saw, and you saw all the steps really this time, because you saw me clean up the stencils, you saw how easy that was, you saw how easy it is to fix a boo-boo, so to speak. If you like what you saw, if you would throw some thumbs up and some hearts, I would really appreciate it. And if you would like to get your hands on these products, you can visit foxychickdesigns.magnoliadesignco.shop, and I did post the website in the description, and you can just head over there and you can get your hands on these chalk paste and this particular stencil. There are many other stencils there that are available. We just launched 5 brand new ones yesterday, and I am so excited about those. There are 2 vintage looking trucks. One is called Fresh Flowers, one is called Farm Truck. We did a couple other ones. There's a Home Sweet Home, one that's called Calories, and a dandelion blowing in the wind. So those are the 5 that we've just launched, and I'm super excited about those, and you will see those in the near future on lives. And if you would like to learn a little bit more about Magnolia Design Company, and you would like to learn more how to get paid to craft, that's what I do. I get paid to craft. And if you are interested in getting your hands on a Get Started kit, our Get Started kit is only $69, and you can message me Kit in the comments below, or you can head over to my website and you can click on the Become a Creator. There are no minimum quotas that you have to have monthly or quarterly. There is a $10.99 fee a month, and that's for your website, to where you can order your products. If you only wanted to do it as a hobbyist, you can order your products for 35% discount. There are several people in our team and in our group that just want to do it for themselves. They don't want to build a team. They don't want to, they don't really want to make money, but they do like the 35% discount. And you can do that by being a creator. And that creator start kit is $69. And you get a lot. You get 4 of the 8.5 by 11 stencils, which is what our Together is our favorite place to be is. You get a 5 by 7 stencil. You get 4 chalk paste and 1 chalk ink. You get a small squeegee. You get an angled squeegee. You get an apron. So you get everything that you would need to get started, whether you want to do this just for fun or if you want to actually do it as a business. You get everything. It really is a business in a box, is really what it is. If you are interested in getting your hands on that, if you will comment Kit, or if you want to just head over to the website and pick it up yourself under the Creator tab, I would greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I want you to be able to make a good decision before you jump in, whether it be just to get the supplies or to make a business out of it. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Hope you guys have a great Saturday, and I will be back soon with another episode and more chalking and more stencils for you. Hope you have a great day. Bye.